EASIT, Easy Access for Social Inclusion Training.
This is Unit 1, Media Accessibility, Element 4, What is Media Accessibility? Video lecture, Understanding the Audiovisual Text. I am Anna Matamala from Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona, and in this short lecture I will explain the concept of audiovisual text and link it to that of multimodality. When we talk about a text, we often think about a written text, a newspaper article, a written essay. However, the concept of text is not limited to the written word. One can talk about an audio text, about an audiovisual text, even about a multimodal text. Let's focus on the concept of audiovisual text, which is at the center of audiovisual translation studies. An audiovisual text is made of audio or acoustic elements and visual elements. These elements can include both linguistic or verbal and non-linguistic or non-verbal elements. Non-linguistic sound elements would include music, sound effects, special effects, and paralinguistic sounds such as sneezes, clicks, cries, coughs, etc., but also silence, which can be really meaningful. These sounds can be part of the story being told, known as diegetic sounds, or may have been added afterwards during the post-production process, extra diegetic sounds in this case. Imagine someone is playing the piano in a movie. The music is part of the story. The characters in the story hear the music. This sound is diegetic. Now imagine that in a scene, piano music is added. The characters are not hearing the music because it has been added during the film editing. This sound is extra diegetic. In respect of the sound elements of a linguistic nature, there are monologues, narrations, dialogues, polylogues, and lyrics. These linguistic elements can be in the main language of the audiovisual text or in another language, especially in multilingual productions. Among the visual elements which are non-linguistic, we can find images and all related aspects, photography, lights, costumes, etc., and visual features associated with text on screen, for instance, the color, font type, or size of a caption on screen. Finally, visual elements of a linguistic nature include different types of text on screen, logos, film credits, superimposed captions, graphs, maps, subtitles, etc. Also, written information which is part of the plot, a sign at the entrance of a city, an email written on a laptop screen. And again, these visual elements can be diegetic or extra diegetic. They can be part of the story or may have been added during the post-production phase. The distribution of audio and visual elements, of linguistic and non-linguistic elements, may change in each audiovisual text. Prototypical examples, such as contemporary Hollywood films, will include elements of all types, whereas non-prototypical examples may be lacking one element. For instance, a silent film with intertitles. Audio and visual elements can have different types of relationship. The information being presented orally may be reinforced visually, or on the contrary, the information may be contradictory. If you are interested in this topic, I recommend you to read the papers by Patrick Zabalbey-Escobar. In any case, if you are a professional and work on an audiovisual text, or if you are a researcher and want to analyze an audiovisual text, there are some questions that you can ask yourself. Who created the audiovisual text? When was it created? Why? For whom was it created? What type of audiovisual text is it? Where and how will the audience enjoy this text? At what stage is it? Is it finished or not? Is it a content on the making? Replying to these questions will allow you to better understand the source audiovisual text that you may want to translate or render accessible. Similarly, you can ask most of the previous questions about the target audiovisual text that you want to create or analyze. Although I have put the focus on the audiovisual text, a key concept you should also be familiar with is that of multimodal text. A multimodal text can be understood as a text that combines more than one mode in a specific context. In this sense, an audiovisual text could be seen as a type of multimodal text. But let me posit another example. A written text could be combined with images, and that would make it a multimodal text. In fact, we could take this example a step further and make sure that the images contain alternative written text, and that the written text is also available in an audio version. Multimodal texts construct meaning through the interaction of different modes. Multimodal texts can also be an excellent way to convey meaning through different modes, guaranteeing access to a wider range of users. In any case, always bear in mind that the text is not only a printed paper or a digital file with words on it. A text here goes beyond the concept of written text. This video lecture has been prepared by Anna Matamala from Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona. You can reach me at anna.matamala@uab.cat.
Pictures. Source, pixabay.com, pexels.com. License, Pixabay license, Pexels license.
The project EASIT has received funding from the European Commission under the Erasmus Plus Strategic Partnerships for Higher Education Programme, Grant Agreement 2018-1 ES01 KA203 05275. The European Commission's support for the production of this publication does not constitute an endorsement of the contents, which reflect the views only of the authors, and the Commission cannot be held responsible for any use which may be made of the information contained therein. This work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Share Alike 4.0 International License. Partners of the EASIT project: Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, Università degli Studi di Trieste, Universidade de Vigo, Stiftung Universität Hildesheim, SDI München, Dyslexie Verbundet, Radio Televizija Slovenija, Zavod RISA. EASIT, Easy Access for Social Inclusion Training.